People be complaining about, I'm bored, I'm bored. People say they bored. When you say you're bored, all that means is you're seeking stimulation and you can't be still in peace. You can't be still with yourself. You can't sit with yourself and enjoy your own presence. That's what being bored means. And I'm like, bro, being bored is a great thing. Being bored is peace. You know what I'm saying? There's always stillness in your environment. There's always peace in your environment. You just have to find it. You know what I'm saying? How you can find it is by looking at something that's still. Like how I find stillness is I look at something that's still. Like look at a tree, look at a pole, look at a building that's still. You know what I'm saying? And I observe it. I take a seat back, I observe it, and I mirror it. And that causes my mind to be still. You know what I'm saying? So if you're having a long day, you're having a chaotic day, your mind is all over the place, take a seat back. Take a seat back. You know what I'm saying? Relax and look outside, be in nature, look at something that's still, and then mirror that. We got to learn how to be still, man. We gotta learn how to be still and enjoy our own presence, you know, because too much movement is not good for the mind. You know what I mean? A lot of us be moving around, boom, boom, boom. Too much movement isn't good for the mind. You know what I mean? It makes the mind wander. And when the mind wanders, you start doing things that's not aligned with where you're going or aligned with what God has for you. You know what I'm saying? You start reacting, you start doing it. This person tells you to do this person asks you to do this, you start doing just things that's not aligned with where you're going. You know what I'm saying? Aligned with your God-given purpose. You know what I mean? So it's important for us to stay still and stop seeking stimulation from external factors, seeking stimulation from people, seeking stimulation from entertainment, seeking stimulation from all this, the news and you know, all the issues that's going on in the world. You know what I mean? We got to find the stillness in our environment. You know what I'm saying? Find it. You know what I'm saying? Seek it. It's there. You know what I'm saying? You got to get out in nature. You know what I'm saying? Take a seat back, observe. You know what I'm saying? Find something that's still, find something that's, you know, by itself. You know what I'm saying? Find like a tree, a pole, and just mirror it. Stillness is powerful. Stillness speaks. You know what I'm saying? Stillness speaks to you. You know what I'm saying? When you're sitting by yourself, when you're sitting in the thoughts of your own mind, you know what I'm saying? Life speaks to you. God speaks to you. You know what I mean? I feel like that's when God's able to tell you things better. You know what I'm saying? When you're by yourself. You know what I'm saying? When you're always around people, around he say, she say, external factors, you got too much distractions in your ear. When God is talking to you, you're not catching it because you got too much stuff going on. But when you're by yourself, you know what I'm saying, you lock out all of those things and it's just you and your thoughts. God is able to pour out everything on you. You know, but he's able to tell you everything he wants on your mind. Everything he wants you to do, you know what I'm saying? He's able to give you direction and a sense of purpose. You know what I'm saying? And from there, it's just your job to be obedient. But it starts with stillness. It starts with sitting with yourself, embracing your own presence. Yeah, I'm talking about as far as just too much movement for your mind isn't good for you. You know, mind is all over the place. You're here, you're here, you're here. Your mind is thinking about that, but it's also thinking about this. And it's also thinking about that. When your mind starts to wander everywhere, that's dangerous. Then you can be lingered. Then you become vulnerable. You can be lingered in every direction. You know what I mean? So it's always good for our mind to be still and focused on a specific thing. You know what I'm saying? Because if my mind is focused on a specific thing, nothing else can corrupt me. Nothing else can get in my way. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm focused on this one thing. You know what I mean? If this doesn't align with that one thing, I'm not gonna give it attention. So we gotta focus, y'all. We gotta be focused and be still and enjoy our own presence, bruh. Like solitude is a beautiful thing. Isolation, being alone, being with yourself. You know what I mean? Like I'm at a restaurant right now. I'm in a whole different country by myself. Come on, y'all. I'm in a whole different country by myself. You know what I mean? I don't wait on people. I'm gonna tell maybe a couple of people, hey, you want to come with me? If they don't got their stuff together, if they, you know what I'm saying? They complaining, they worried about what if this happens. I don't want to hear none of that. I'm all about experience it. I want to experience new things. I want to experience life. You know what I'm saying? So much So much life has to offer. And this goes back to exposure. A lot of us don't even know that there's so much life has to offer outside of our hometown. Once I got outside of Maryland, I went to Atlanta for the first time. That was the first time I got on a plane. I went to Atlanta for the first time. I said, bro, there's so much life has to offer. You know what I'm saying? There's so much there's so much opportunity. There's so much great people. There's so much good, you know what I mean? And then when I left the country for the first time, I went to Honduras. I said, bro, what? They living like this? Like they don't have that much, but they're still at peace and they're still happy. You know what I mean? In America, it feels like, oh, you need to have everything. You have to have the cars, the houses, the jewelry, the clothes to be at peace. You go to countries like Honduras and places in Africa and places in Europe. You go to those places, they have bare minimum and they're happy. They're at peace. They're chilling. They don't care about all this external things of what's going on with gossip. They don't care. They're not trying to look good for people. You know what I'm saying? They're grateful that they got food on their plate. They're grateful they got some clothes on their back, and that's it. They're grateful they're alive. You know what I mean? You got to get exposed to things. You got to put yourself in different environments. Once you see something, you can't unsee it. Like, I didn't even know it was possible to be rich and successful. And as soon as I met my first millionaire, as soon as I met David Shands and Neil in the same room, I'm like, damn. You know what I'm saying? These is two multi-millionaires. I'm like, that's possible. And they both retired their parents. They both are building legacies. They both are speaking on, they both is in the communities building things. I'm like, this is possible. I didn't know that was possible until I got to Atlanta for the first time. In Maryland, I never met nobody that was making $1 million. Everyone was working jobs and in corporate and all that. So when I went to Atlanta for the first time, I'm like, damn, it's a lot of successful people. It's a lot of people that's making money outside of a job. They got their own businesses. I'm like, damn. But it goes back to exposure. You know what I'm saying? It goes back to seeing, being around other people that's doing better than you. A lot of us, we got to expose ourselves to different things. Like this world is filled with experiences. Like, get out the country, see more. Another thing about leaving the country, like, your gratitude goes on another level. Like, you're more grateful with things. Like, you got to realize in other countries, they don't have consistent water, like running water every single day, like you do in America. You know what I mean? The water is not running every single day. There may be a day where the water runs and then they may be out of water for 2 straight days and then the water comes back on. They don't have that. You know what I mean? But in America, it's cool. Everything's running. Everything's smooth. You know what I'm saying? Like, your level of gratitude goes on another level. Not much resources out here. It's not much of anything out here, but they're just at peace. Like, bruh, I'm telling you, you gotta expose yourself to more. Like, get around, change your environment, leave the country. You know what I'm saying? Don't wait on nobody too. A lot of people is like, oh, I can't do that because I gotta go with my best friend or I gotta go with my sister. Stop waiting on people. Just do it. Go by yourself. You know what I'm saying? Go by yourself. Oh man, we gotta expose ourselves to more. It's so much the world has to offer, y'all.